morning, family. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me tell you guys what time of day it is. It is 4:04 in the AM, if you guys can see that. And um I need to address this scenario, okay? Am I bothered? I'm extremely bothered. I'm going to the messages and I'm going to completely, you know, put it out there, okay? And I also want to share my concerns to this. But first, let me give you a little bit of background, okay? Now, I stepped upon YouTube platform March of 2010. I've never shielded, my feelings about anything. I've always been forthright with everyone and everybody. A liar, I am not. A falsifying person, I'm not. I keeps it 100 with whoever I come across, okay? And, I understand everybody has a different value system. Some people were raised differently. Some people's truths are different than others. But to me, I don't want to use the word common sense totally, but to me, sometimes you need to execute some common sense. To me, okay? Now, I am a Virgo, which means that I am quite analytical. I am that person. Um, there's a lot of times that I may get things that some people may not get right off the bat. I usually have a really good judge of character with people. I since a kid, I've been one to be able to decipher deception very, very well. And I have a memory like an animal, okay, to where it's almost scary to the people in my life. To whereas, I would, just because I don't say nothing doesn't mean that I didn't get it, I didn't hear it, I didn't see it, or any of shape or form. It just simply means I don't want to go back and forth with your ass about whatever it is that I witness. That's it. I don't want to rehash or anything, because I am one that is long-winded and I will beat a dead horse. I'm one of those women that will argue and will keep arguing and arguing, and then perhaps even wake up the next morning and still getting in your ass if I feel a particular kind of way about whatever it is that you did to me. Okay? Now, in this particular scenario, I feel bothered, and let me tell you why I feel bothered. When I came upon this platform, I let it be known that this is mine. Have I shared my family? To a degree, I have. But I don't put them out here in the forefront because it is not their channel. I deserve to have my own form of personal life as well as the life that I share with you guys. That doesn't mean that I'm, bipolar. It doesn't mean that, I'm 1 minute this way, next minute. No, it just means that I come on here and I share what I want to with you. And then when the cameras are off, then I still need to go back being Tina the mother, Tina the mom, Tina the wife, Tina the girlfriend, Tina the girl, just, whatever. Tina the cook, the chauffeur, the teen mom, and all those different hats that I tend to wear, okay? But I don't, sometimes two can be blended and sometimes three can. But when it comes down to, especially to this internet world, I do not, and I know I have, shown snips of my children. I since then stopped that years ago. If you do see my kids, it's like in a quick snippet or something like that. You'll hear their voices in the background. Why? Because, excuse me, That is my life. I am a mother. So by me being a mother, and you are aware that I have 3 children, my children are in my custody, so of course you will hear them in the background, okay? That's something that we can't help, okay? Will you hear Kenny? Will you hear Tony? Yes, you will, because they are my truth and they are in my background. Mr. Malibu, you will hear him in the background. Whenever we come together, you know, a lot of times the things that me and Mr. Malibu do is a lot of entertainment stuff. Going to shows, award shows, um, you know, travel and dinners and whatever else that we do. If I choose to devour that, then therefore it's what I want you to see on YouTube. I do not owe this platform every aspect of my life. I don't know. Okay? I'm not getting, you know, those type of perks where I have to devour every aspect of my life. I don't expect that from you guys. I do not expect for you guys to come on here and tell me every aspect of your life. I don't expect for you guys, okay, well, what's around that corner and what's in that room, and open up that door. Let me see what that is. Let me see what you're driving. Let me see where you live at. Let me see what your room look like. What you eating today. You know, what's your mama name? What's your middle name? What's your address? It's certain things that, in my opinion, you know, executing a little bit of common sense, in my opinion, I would not ask. There's certain things for me, I just would not ask people. But that's me though, okay? So my form of common sense and my form of respect for another could possibly be a little bit different than someone else. And in this particular case, I believe that this is what this situation is. And it has now boiled over to this. Now, I'm going to go over this right here. And I'm going to give you guys I'm going to give you guys my opinion. And then you guys take it from there. And you guys leave your comments below. You can make a video response if you want to. Okay? Let me go to the email in question. And let me first go by telling you all in which what happened. Okay? Yesterday, Tony came over to take Isaiah to baseball practice, and when he got to the house, he was taking Isaiah. It was one practice. I don't know if it was baseball. I think that was basketball tryouts. Something. It was something, some kind of sports situation they were getting ready to go to yesterday. And when they got ready to do that, as soon as he came in the house, he asked me, I'm not going to use this lady's name because I still, you know, want to show her a form of respect. Though I feel like I was disrespected, still, the woman in me, I'm not going to put your name out there because I feel like, you know, you're going to get all kind of flood coming into your inbox, into your bullshit. Into your life, to your YouTube channel, and wherever else that you deal with. But yes, according to your Facebook, you know, of course we got your name because you sent him a friend request, as well as we ended up getting subsequent letters from you. Okay? And in my opinion, I just feel like this was all wrong. This was all wrong, Miss Lady. I'm sorry, okay? And I do know, because I know that you have unsubscribed to me from according to your letters, and you also, I guess, took me off of your Facebook because now that I'm looking at it, it says Facebook user, and your picture and everything is taken down, but it still has your name. So before that goes away, let me write down this right here. But let me go into this message, and I want you guys to tell me what you think, okay? Okay. Oh, and it still has your picture up. Because at first, it took your picture away. And it just said Facebook user. So now that your picture and everything is back up, hold on. I'm so I'm a very, very detailed person, and I take pictures of everything. Let me also take a picture of this for my own stamp and staple of this right here. One thing about me, I'm very, very thorough, and the closest people around me know that one thing about Tina, she is very, very thorough, very, very thorough. Okay. 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 She goes, "Hi Tina. Now I hope your public service announcement wasn't directed towards me because I do not want Tony in the least. I repeat, I do not want Tony. So here's the deal. My son who is okay, you meant to say who is in high school, was interested in becoming an air traffic controller. Why? Because I happened to be watching one of your videos where you stated that what your husband did for a living. My son joined me just as you were talking about it. Now my husband is a welder and makes great money, and that this is what I would like my son to do, but it's his choice. Anyway, I'm getting a little off subject, but my son and I stopped watching your video and Googled what an ATC does, and he was very intrigued. So he then asked me to look Tony up on Facebook. So I did, and my son is the one, without my knowledge, who sent your husband a friend request while I was on the phone in the other room. Not me, okay? And I found out immediately. I immediately canceled the request. I explained to him that you don't do that, but hey, kids do things. I asked him why did he do that, and he was like, I just wanted to ask him a few questions about what he did for a living, and that he didn't mean any harm. I'm reading it the way it's written, guys. I'm college educated, okay? And plus it's 4 o'clock in the morning, so if my shit ain't flowing, it just is what it is, okay? So there you go. So the reason why the request was sent and immediately canceled, I am in a very healthy and happy relationship way in Atlanta, where I live. So you had this whole situation misconstrued. Now, it's not given the time that this message was sent, okay? I didn't get this message. See, the thing is, like I said before, I wear several different hats. I don't just sit in front of my phones and my iPads and shit and go on to Facebook like that all day. I can't, okay? So, when she sent me that message, it was after I had already did this public service announcement, because as you see, she says from the top, I hope your public service announcement wasn't about me. Well, when Tony came in the house, he asked me, Tina, do you know such and such? I was like, no, I don't think so. Why? He said, well, he was like, babe, I got a friend request. And then when I went to her info, I always scroll down and see who they are in friends with. And when I scrolled down, the only friend in common that she had was you. So I'm coming to you because I don't know this lady, though she seemed like she could possibly be pleasant or whatever. But, I'm getting a friend request from your friend. And as your friend, and still as your husband, I'm coming to you to inform you of this, because it's something that we need to talk about. I don't want to be contacted anymore by, your people on your channel. He doesn't mean any disrespect. It's just the fact that he don't want to be involved in no twist or nothing like that. Now, in the beginning, now I'm gonna give me a minute because she also sent another message. But in the beginning, I've said, well, I always call him Senior anyway. That's just the name that I've given him after we had Anthony. Anthony is a junior and he's a senior, so, well, Anthony's actually a second, but we call him second. And that's why we call my baby third. But from the beginning, I had stated, that, Tony had been contacted before on Facebook. And this asshole, I don't want to call her no asshole, but I'm certain that it was a chick, went on to Tony's Facebook and took his pictures off of his Facebook of my children, of him, of his job, all this kinds of shit. Made videos about us, our family, showed pictures, all this kind of bullshit. It was a mess, okay? This was, I want to say 2010, or maybe it was last year, I don't remember. But what they did was, not only they took the faces of our kids and they put it on different bodies, and I mean they did a lot of cut and splice. They did some real fucked up shit. And to me and my family and to Tony, and it was really, really bad. I came on YouTube then, and I said then, and as a matter of fact, that is when I walked away from YouTube. And I said, you know what, I have had it, I am done. Because here this motherfucker even went as far as looked up, I had somebody look up my parents' estate, because, I mean, whatever it was about me that this motherfucker just decided to just go in my full background. They looked Tony's ass up, looked his job up, looked all this shit up, because of course on Tony's Facebook, of course he has his co-workers and shit like that, different shit like that. They went and contacted all kinds of shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? All that trying to get next to my ass or make me feel a particular kind of way, in which that was a total violation, okay? Total violation. Whereas, yes, we could have went, and done all kinds of things, but what we just decided to do was, okay, at that very moment, Tony put his Facebook on private, and from then on, like my oldest son, he put his Facebook on private and all those other types of things. We began to live a little bit more privately as my popularity increased. People began to do some real crazy, wild, outlandish shit. We didn't have motherfuckers show up at our house. We didn't have motherfuckers, contacting and all kinds of shit, looking shit up, mailing shit to my house, all kinds of stuff. This is the reason why I had to go and get a P.O. box. I had to change one of our numbers. We had to, it's a trip. We had to take down the pictures of our children. We had to do all these different things, okay? Because people were basically looking our ass up. And then I was told that, of course it comes with the territory. Tina, you need to, be aware that as your popularity increases, you're going to get these type of people that's going to just come into, your privacy and just do all these different types of fucking things. Well, me, I'm coming straight out of Compton, okay? I come from, you're going to get your ass whooped, policy and philosophy. You understand what I'm saying? That's where the fuck I come from. I don't come from the reasoning of, okay, turn the other cheek and all. I'm trying to get better and leave shit in the hands of the law to handle things. But then there are sometimes, because, doing some things, and especially when you bound by different contracts and different things, certain things you cannot say, certain things you cannot do, and so many other things, okay? And so, there's things, though I do talk a whole lot, I talk about a whole lot of shit, but I always know when to hold them and when to fold them sometimes. Then there's times when Jody will be in my ear, or just like when I was on BlogTv the other day, Miss Jones sent me a text message and was like, Tina, and I haven't spoken with Miss Jones in like forever. Okay, that is your pleasure, 721, I believe, or 21 or something. But she sent me a text message and was like, Tina, you're on BlogTV. I'm watching you right now. Calm down. You're saying too much. Don't say no more. Calm down. Okay. So I have people that look out for me, because I do talk a whole lot. I know that I do. I know that I pushes the envelope a little further sometimes than I need to. I realize and recognize that shit too. However, though, that's something that I need to work on. You know what I'm saying? This is beginning to, this is doing some things that I just did not anticipate when I came upon this platform. But I'm enjoying the ride, and I have to be stronger. That is why I came in for the new year and said, I don't want to be in no twists. I don't want to be in no bullshit. I don't want my name tumbling around and what everybody else got going on. I don't want to be taking out nobody else's fires. I don't want to be jumping into defense of somebody else's shit. I don't want to be involved with any of that. Why? Because I have a vision on what it is that I'm trying to do. And being involved in some bullshit is not where I'm trying to go, and it will stunt my growth. Now, for the ones that's on this platform that start shit and be into some bullshit, do that shit with them other motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about that. Okay? But for me, when you start taking pot shots at my children, you start coming to my motherfucking home, you start looking up my parents and their names and their backgrounds and birth dates and all that motherfucking shit, and you looking up my husband and his job and contacting him, you are out of line. Period. You are out of line. Okay? Now, I have heard from, who has not contacted me? From Salima, to my girl Monica in Atlanta, to my cousin Sarita in Texas, from Miss Montana De Leon. I've had London fire off on this shit on a personal PM. I done had Teresa, so many other motherfuckers contacting me about this right here, because I did not want to put this whole situation on blast, but I wanted to put enough out to let people know, don't do this. This is not what you do. Now, I have Facebook. My Facebook name is Tina Garland. I have Instagram. It is under, what is my Instagram? Shit, y'all. Hold on. Let me tell you what my Instagram is right now, because I'm going to make it crystal clear that you guys have ways of getting in contact with me without contacting my husband and my kids. My Instagram, what the shit is my Instagram? I'll tell you all that in a minute, because I don't want to take away from her note right here.